Breaking news: Moscow has erupted into chaos after a massive Ukrainian drone strike set the Russian capital ablaze. Overnight, explosions thundered across the city, skyscrapers lit up in flames, and emergency sirens echoed as Russia's most secure air defenses were caught completely off guard. This is one of the boldest and deadliest Ukrainian strikes deep inside Russian territory since the war began, turning Moscow into what witnesses described as a firestorm in the heart of Russia. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe and like my videos. It began late last night when waves of Ukrainian drones pierced through Moscow's skies. Residents first reported hearing the sound of buzzing engines, followed by massive explosions that shook the ground. Social media flooded with videos showing bright flashes, burning towers, and shocked citizens running for cover. Eyewitnesses claimed the drones came in swarms, overwhelming Russia's defense systems. Some crashed into office towers, others exploded near residential complexes, while at least 3 hit government-linked facilities. Within minutes, Moscow was thrown into chaos, its skyline glowing red from fires spreading uncontrollably. Reports suggest multiple high-rise business towers in Moscow's financial district suffered direct hits. Glass shattered, steel bent, and flames engulfed entire floors. One tower valued at over $1 billion burned like a torch against the night sky. Firefighters rushed to the scene, but explosions continued, making it nearly impossible to contain the inferno. Residents described the scene as apocalyptic. One survivor said, "The sky turned orange, the city shook. It felt like war had come straight to our doorstep." What shocked military analysts the most was Russia's inability to intercept these drones. Moscow is heavily guarded with advanced S-1 systems, S-400 missiles, and electronic warfare units. Yet, Ukraine's drones managed to break through, suggesting new technology or clever tactics were used. Some sources say the drones flew low and slow, hiding under radar coverage. Others believe Ukraine used decoy drones to distract defenses while the real ones slipped through. Either way, this attack has exposed the vulnerability of Russia's capital, something the Kremlin has always denied. This wasn't just about damage, it was symbolic. Moscow has always been portrayed as untouchable, the fortress city of Russia. By striking at its core, Ukraine sent a chilling message: nowhere is safe. For months, Russia has bombarded Ukrainian cities like Kiev, Kharkiv, and Odessa. Civilians have suffered relentless missile barrages. But now, Ukraine has flipped the script, bringing the war inside Russia's most important city. The world is watching closely. Western nations are calling this a clear sign of Ukraine's growing strength. Some officials say Kiev is proving it can strike Russia where it hurts most. NATO has distanced itself, denying direct involvement but warning Russia against further escalation. The United States has maintained that it does not encourage strikes on Russian soil, but many analysts believe American technology has helped Ukraine improve its drone fleet. Russia's allies like China and Iran have remained quiet, avoiding public criticism, but clearly uneasy about the attack scale. Meanwhile, Ukrainians online are celebrating. Social media is flooded with memes and victory posts, calling this revenge for months of Russian bombings. The Kremlin immediately accused Ukraine of terrorism, vowing a massive retaliation. Russian state media downplayed the attack at first, claiming most drones were shot down. But satellite images and independent footage show otherwise. Fires raging across the capital prove that damage was extensive. Putin himself has yet to make a personal statement, but insiders say he was moved to a secure location as the strikes unfolded. Panic is reportedly spreading among Moscow's elite, with rumors of businessmen and politicians planning to flee the capital. Beyond physical destruction, this attack is psychological warfare. Moscow's citizens are no longer distant spectators of a war happening hundreds of kilometers away. For the first time, they feel the fear and chaos that Ukrainians endure daily. Shops closed, metro stations turned into shelters, and thousands fled the city center overnight. Videos show traffic jams as people tried to escape areas under attack. The once safe and secure Moscow is now living in terror. This strike marks a new phase in the war. Ukraine is no longer only defending, it is taking the fight inside Russia. If such strikes continue, Moscow could face repeated chaos, undermining Putin's narrative of control and security. Military experts warn that this could push Russia toward even more brutal tactics. Already, missiles are being fired at Ukrainian energy infrastructure in retaliation. But Ukraine has shown it can hit back harder and further. The exact drone models used remain unclear. Some reports suggest Ukraine deployed long-range kamikaze drones, possibly with Western-made components. Others hint at domestically produced systems capable of flying hundreds of kilometers. If true, this demonstrates Ukraine's remarkable adaptation under war pressure. Despite limited resources, Kiev has managed to create a fleet capable of reaching the Russian heartland. Sadly, civilians on both sides are paying the price. In Moscow, dozens have been reported injured, with some fatalities. Families were forced to evacuate burning apartments, while children cried as explosions rocked the city. In Ukraine, civilians brace for even harsher retaliation. Already, Russian missiles are striking Kiev and Kharkiv, targeting power plants, hospitals, and schools. The cycle of violence continues with no clear end in sight. This drone strike could shift the entire geopolitical landscape. Europe fears that Russia might retaliate against NATO indirectly. Oil and gas markets are already reacting, with prices spiking after fears of instability in Russia. Military alliances are watching closely, studying Ukraine's tactics as potential models for future warfare. Some experts are even calling this the beginning of a new type of drone war, where swarms of cheap unmanned aircraft can overwhelm billion-dollar defense systems. On Russian social media, voices of fear and anger dominate. Some demand revenge against Ukraine. Others criticize the Kremlin for failing to protect them. "They told us we were safe," wrote one Muscovite. "But last night we saw the truth. We are not safe." This growing dissatisfaction could shake internal stability inside Russia, raising questions about Putin's leadership. For Ukraine, this strike wasn't just a military move, it was a political statement. It says, if you bomb Kiev, we will bomb Moscow. If you burn our homes, your skyscrapers will burn too. President Zelensky has not officially claimed responsibility, but his advisors have hinted strongly that Ukraine will continue to bring the war home to Russia. Where does this leave the war? Russia will retaliate fiercely. Expect more missile barrages on Ukrainian cities in the coming days. Ukraine will strike again. With morale high and momentum building, Ukraine will likely plan even deeper strikes. The international community faces a dilemma: support Ukraine's right to strike back, or fear escalation that could spiral into direct NATO-Russia conflict. One thing is clear: the war has entered a dangerous new chapter. The drone strike on Moscow is not just another headline. It is a turning point, one that shows how fragile Russia's power truly is. For Ukrainians, it is a sign of resilience. For Russians, it is a brutal awakening. For the world, it is a warning of how quickly this war could spiral out of control. Moscow is burning, and the firestorm may only be the beginning.